I arrived alone, the way I always seem to these days. The valet at the Grand Regency Hotel in downtown Chicago took my keys with that polished, practiced smile, not bothering to ask my name, just handing over a ticket like I was any guest blending into the evening crowd. I held my invitation tightly, not for entry, but as a quiet reminder that, technically, I had been asked to come. The lobby smelled of fresh lilies and expensive cologne, the kind of scent that whispered old money and careful curation. Lila never did settle. Everything she planned screamed perfection, from the custom florals to the string quartet already tuning up in the ballroom. At the coordinator's desk, the woman in the crisp black blazer scrolled her tablet with pinched brows. "Name?" she asked. "Elena Brooks." More scrolling. A frown. Not on the main guest list. Maybe +1. I kept my expression neutral. I'd been the maybe in this family for years. I'm the bride's sister. Her smile faltered.
Oh, right.
Must be a last-minute mix-up. She scribbled a badge. Elena B.
Guest.
Handed it over like an afterthought. A distant cousin spotted me in the hallway and did a double take. "You made it. Lila mentioned you were." Between things, her tone dripped with that fake concern masking judgment. I nodded, offering the small smile I'd perfected for moments like this, the one that hid the sting. Between things. That phrase had started after Lila decided my life didn't fit her polished narrative. Last Thanksgiving, she told the whole table I was exploring options while my federal appointment letter sat untouched in my purse. I hadn't corrected her then. Tonight felt different. The ballroom glittered under crystal chandeliers. Tables draped in ivory linens. Centerpieces overflowing with white roses and gold accents. My place card sat at the far end, near the service doors. Elena Brooks.
Guest.
Unverified. Again. An usher mumbled an apology about a last-minute seating change. "No need to fix it," I said quietly. "I won't stay long." No one greeted me. I sat alone, watching the room fill. Lila entered like a vision, designer gown hugging her figure. Camera flashes popping as she posed with Ethan, her fiancé, under a floral arch. Our mother beamed at her like she was the center of the universe. Dad shook hands with important-looking men nearby. None of them glanced my way. They rarely did anymore. Guests toasted careers,
Engagement.
exotic trips.
No one asked about me.
I sipped water, nodding politely when addressed, my mind drifting to the weight I carried silently. An aunt leaned in during a lull. "Elena, how have you?" Lila cut her off with a wave. "She's figuring things out right now." Laughter rippled. I stared at my glass. I'd sentenced people to decades in prison with more respect than this table offered. The words burned in my throat.
But I swallowed them.
Steel, not fire. That's what years on the bench had taught me. A tall man in his late 60s, sharply dressed with a bourbon in hand, approached. Ethan's father, Richard Caldwell. He extended a hand. "Miss Brooks? I hear you're in transition." The phrasing carried Lila's vague disappointment. "I've worn different hats," I replied evenly. "Life reshapes us." His eyes narrowed thoughtfully. "What line of work are you in now?" The air thickened. Lila appeared instantly. Perfume first, hand on his arm like a rescue. Daddy gets chatty. Elena's exploring new directions, taking time to realign. Her laugh was too bright. A nearby guest chuckled. "Didn't you say she was unemployed?" Lila's smile tightened. Between opportunities, silence stretched. I held it, letting confidence fill the gap. People leaned in when you didn't rush to defend yourself. A young bridesmaid, maybe 16, watched quietly from the side, curiosity in her eyes, not pity. but genuine interest in how someone stayed composed while being diminished. Richard tilted his head. You're remarkably steady. Habit, I said softly. Grows in rooms full of storytellers. His mouth twitched. Almost a smile. Lila steered him away, but he glanced back. We'll talk again soon. I offered the faintest nod. He had no idea. I moved to the dessert table to reset. Shoulders tense. My name tag lay smudged and curled. Stained. Misspelled again. It was an accident. It was message. Holding it. Memories surfaced of my law school graduation announcements, cream cardstock. Engraved. Sent with pride. None replied. One returned unopened. Silence as erasure. I placed the tag back, letting it dangle awkwardly. Across the room, Lila glowed amid laughter, mother clinging to her arm. I observed detached, like reviewing case evidence. Recognition, not rage. Two women whispered over Rose. She doesn't seem to fit this family. Maybe they were right. I'd never belonged in their curated frame. The last attempt, a phone call after my bench appointment, ended with Mom interrupting about Lila's engagement plans. Don't drag work in now. The bruise still ached. Music shifted. A waiter passed. I nearly bumped into Mom. If you're thinking of speaking up, let her have today, she whispered. My smile was precise. I've let her have years. She retreated. Lila brushed my shoulder in passing, affectionate to outsiders, territorial to me. Chaos erupted nearby as a child knocked over napkins. Laughter followed. No one scolded. I moved to the edge. Breathing. My phone buzzed. An unknown caller. Judge Brooks?
Thank you.
You saved our family in that landlord case. Recognition hit. A quiet win from months ago. I needed that more than you know. Lights dimmed. The MC welcomed Lila. She took the mic, thanking everyone, parents, mentors, Ethan's family, even the dog groomer. My name? Absent. She glanced my way. My sister's here tonight. She's figuring things out. We're proud she joined. Polite applause. That's how they deleted you. Charm and champagne. I skirted photographers. A caterer mistook me for staff. Help with the cake knife? I'm not. A photographer waved me aside. Family only. Parents and Ethan's nephews posed with Lila. No one sought me. A glossy program handed out. Lila's 3-page spread. Mine? Old pixelated photo on the back. Elena Brooks. Exploring new paths. Murmurs nearby. So brave. Leaving corporate. I murmured. Not complete. They'd rewritten me as accessory. In a quiet corner, Dad's old colleague, Uncle Warren, raised his glass. Still got that edge. Steel, not bitterness. I smiled. They think silence agrees. It's not. The night wore on. Lila approached. Saccharine. Hope you're enjoying. Don't overthink. Celebrations end, I said. Real things begin. Her eyes flickered. I stepped onto the terrace. Air cooler. Mind calculating. The murmurs blurred behind me. Stars faint above Chicago. Richard's voice. Judge Brooks. He stepped closer. Something doesn't match what I've been told. People edit for comfort. He chuckled. I smell emissions. What do you really do? I hold people accountable formally. His eyes lit with respect. Guests sensed the shift. Lila swept in. Hobbies. Right? Richard pressed. Actually? Asking about her background. Her smile twitched. He nodded. Interest-rooted. And excused himself with a meaningful look. Lila hissed. I'm managing fires, don't add one. I'm not holding the matches. Lights dimmed for a special gesture. Custom bracelets for core family. Lila first, then parents. Nothing for me. Mom whispered. We didn't think you'd be here. The words carried weight. You don't belong. Silence sharper than any scream. A generic gift bag offered. I declined. Facing Lila across the room. You've made clear who belongs. Be sure when the narrative flips. I walked toward the lobby. Moment settling. A waiter stopped me. Needed in VIP suite, urgent. Hallway quiet. There. A familiar face. Legal reporter from the Tribune. Judge Brooks. How does it feel going from sentencing executives to being unnoticed here? Silence fell. Heads turned. Forks froze. Lila clutched her glass. I replied calmly. This isn't court. But thanks for asking. 2 words. Federal judge, crisp.
Gasps.
Murmurs spread. Richard watched closely. The hush spread like ripples. Lila stormed over. Smile tight. Eyes glassy. You could have said something earlier. I held her gaze.
Why?
You wrote my role. The room watched. Attention no longer polite but riveted. Harold Bingham, a retired appellate judge I knew faintly, stepped forward. Judge Brooks, TR embezzlement case? 15 years. Protected thousands. Applause followed. Respectful. Lila's image rippled. Richard approached slower. Respect in his handshake. Why the secret? It wasn't. They didn't want to know. He nodded. A bridesmaid tripped, shattering glass near Lila's feet. She recoiled, not from pain, but exposure. I turned away. That's the first drop. Back in the ballroom. Eyes followed me now. Whispers. She's a judge. Why didn't Lila say? Marcus, no. Ethan stood at the bar. Gaze fixed. Calculating. He spoke tensely with Lila near the arch. Jaw tight. She deflected with high laughter. But it didn't land. First crack in her empire. She worked the room harder. Gestures exaggerated. Desperation clear. She pulled Mom aside, whispering fiercely. Mom looked my way. Doubt replacing blind loyalty. The MC announced, "Please welcome BR, Lila's sister, Elena, woman of achievement." I walked steadily to the stage. "I decline," I said quietly into the mic. "Let the record show I was here." "That's enough." I set it down and left. Silence louder than music. Guests murmured, "Graceful power move." Said more in 5 words. At my table, phone buzzed. "Ethan, we talk." On the patio, he waited. Tension in shoulders. "Tim Watkins from law school said you're marrying into the Brooks family. Her sister's the judge who buried us in Kavanaugh case." Ruthless but clean. I held his gaze. Not the first description. He laughed sharply. "You're not invisible. You were erased. Curated families crop what doesn't fit." He poured out his whiskey. "A child asked if I was babysitter." I knelt. "No. But I watch everything." She giggled. We walked back in together. Visible. Heads turned. Lila went pale. Storming over. "What are you doing, Ethan? Looking at what you refuse to see." Their father pulled her aside. "Control the narrative." But no narrative remained. A media woman approached. "Judge Brooks? Westfield indictment. Did you authorize before tonight?"
Yes.
"And more coming." I moved through the room. No blocks. No staff mistakes. Air parted. Lila stood rigid at dessert station, gripped tight on her flute. Guests discussed the RSVP system, designed by a legal consultant, Elena Brooks. Her laugh stiff. "Just a little favor." I stepped closer. Most of what I do stays behind scenes until it doesn't. Respectful silence. A young guest. That's powerful. Glasses raised. Photographer captured shots. My sleeve shifted, revealing the engraved Federal Judicial Center watch. Honor for integrity. Whispers multiplied. "She's that judge." Lila tried. She hates attention. Spotlight stayed. Ethan to Lila. You tried to bury a star. Now the room sees it. Her flute slipped slightly, revealing tremor. Lights dimmed for video montage. Lila's curated life. Childhood. Awards. Wellness brand. No mention of me. Screen faded. Confusion. Wasn't there a section on Elena?
Glitch.
Over. They'd edited me out again. I pulled a folded paper from my purse, receipts of ignored milestones. Grandmother Valora's letter. You've always been more. When lights are brightest, they will know. Release washed over me. Victory wasn't applause. It was stepping out and watching scramble. Ethan sat beside me in garden. Tonight changed what I thought I was walking into. You're better than expected. He handed program with handwritten edition. Elena Brooks, U.S. District Judge. Someone noticed. Enough. Music swelled inside, but I'd disconnected. I nodded to him. Stood. Brushed my dress. By valet. Your car.
Judge.
No questions. In the sedan. Phone buzzed, legal alert. My Westfield ruling public.
Head back.
Streetlights smearing. I didn't win a moment. I walked into truth. Next morning. Sky dark. I dressed simply. Document on desk. Authorization on Lila's nonprofit, misappropriated funds. Shell partnerships. Signed weeks ago. Precise, not spiteful. Delivered envelope to Tribune editor via front desk. At breakfast. Whispers. Nonprofit scandal. Judge related to bride. Phones buzzed. Lila's name trended. Mine too. I poured black coffee.
Didn't check.
Bridesmaid rushed past.
Pale.
Ethan slower. Found me. You knew. Planned it. Revenge. Justice. Learn the difference. Won't ruin your wedding. Just won't be in the fiction. Cameras waited in lobby. Reporters for verdict. Not florals. Mom near door. You didn't have to destroy her. Didn't destroy. Stopped covering. Doors opened to flashes. My actual name called correctly. Stepped into car. Silence gift. U.S. Attorney's office call. They wanted me small.
Quiet.
But some rooms weren't built for truth. I became the system.